And we are back here on this show, and it's time to move on to the sport of boxing. Okay, and we are going to talk about the fight last night. And Shakur Stevenson, we all know, defeated Edwin De La Santos via decision. And the question that we have presented at the bottom is: should Top Rank re-sign Shakur Stevenson after his contract expires? And I would love to do the honors to kick us off here because it was a very, you know, interesting night watching this fight. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was bored to death. That's time I can't get back. With all due respect. But look, to answer the question outright, I think they should. But if they lose Shakur Stevenson, it's not the end of the world. It's not. With all due respect, it's not. Like when you look at Top Rank, they have a lot of good prospects. They got Inouye. They got Jared Anderson. They got Keyshawn Davis. They got a lot of nice prospects that I like to watch, on, ESPN when they come on. So I think they're going to be fine. They still got Loma. They still got a lot of, guys, Cambosos. The list goes on. They don't need Shakur Stevenson. Should they want Shakur Stevenson? Should they want to resign him? Of course, you should. Let's not use last night to take away anything on a negative scale about his skill. We know what Shakur Stevenson is. We know he's a skillful boxer. Nobody defines the hit and not get hit, cat and mouse game like Shakur Stevenson. And clearly that was evident against De La Santos last night with his elusiveness, right, and his jab and ability to neutralize De La Santos' offense, which he did for 12 rounds. He made it a boring fight, said, you can't hit me, and that's how he fought throughout the balance of the entire fight. And I knew he wasn't going to go in the trenches with De La Santos because De La Santos has power and he didn't want to taste that power. I respect the sweet science of the sport. We all know these things matter. These things have, when you're able to not get hit like Floyd Mayweather, you have a long, sustainable career. You're able to have your senses. You're able to be good after boxing. You're able to be upright compared to guys like Muhammad Ali, guys that took a lot of punishment throughout the balance of their careers and they regret it long term. So I understand that Shakur Stevenson's main objective was to fight his fight, get the win, and go home. However, when you're not getting and landing big fights, you needed to make a statement last night and you should have took more risk and made this fight fun for the viewer. What the hell was Tank going to say when he sees that the crowd is booing your behind? Okay, first of all, the crowd was half empty. On top of that, you didn't even pack half of the seats in there. And then on top of that, you booing everybody to death. Listen, I got to be real. I understand skills pay the bills, but I tell y'all before, KOs pay the pay-per-views, okay? So don't be coming at people if they ain't supporting you when you're not giving them what they want. We have a lot of social media influencers in the sport of boxing right now. Okay, we do. And they're taking over the sport. It's infested with influencers. Okay, people want to be entertained. And last night, you did not entertain nobody. And that's not going to help you at the negotiating table. So you need to check back with Devin Haney and see if that 25% is still on the goddamn table. Okay, before you come out here and call people ducks. Because ain't nobody going to fight you. Why the hell would Tank want to fight you? Okay, we know Tank likes to land that power shot and knock you out. Why the hell you think he gonna want to fight you when this cat De La Santos was chasing you all night like Tom and Jerry and your behind is running and you think Tank is gonna want to fight you when he got other options, when he's the meal ticket? It's not gonna happen. So I thought that he dropped the ball and making a big statement. Bob Arum, he was right there in attendance, front row. Okay, Floyd Mayweather, front row. He was obviously doing his recruiting. Okay, we know that Shakur wants that Lomachenko fight next. And that might be his ultimatum to re-sign with Top Rank. Give me Loma. Otherwise, I'm out. If I'm Bob Arum and I can't secure that Loma fight because he's going to fight Cambosos or whatever, the timelines don't match, fine. Go ahead. Go. Yeah, I understand your skills, what you bring. But I got a lot of prospects over here and you ain't selling nothing. Okay? Boxing these days is to sell. Okay? Can you put butts in seats? And I'm not going to lie. The only butt you put in the seat is an 80-year-old grandmother. That's it. So that's my take from round one.
I don't think Top Rank should resign Shakur Stevenson because, not because that he doesn't sell fights, or he's not a guy who's gonna sell out arenas, or he's not talented enough. It's just that it's not a good matchup for him. Top Rank has the last year and change. Mostly every promoter, damn near every the last year and change. Fighters have been complaining about pay, complaining about percentages, complaining about a bevy of things, and it's clear that Top Rank favors certain fighters over others. And right now, Shakur Stevenson is not in favor of any of those benefits at the moment. And I think that's when a change of scenery is deserved, where he could go to a promoter and he could be the primary face of that promotion. Shakur Stevenson is so damn talented. Any promotion will be willing to throw money at him and make him a face of main cards of many pay-per-views. And I think Top Rank has shown us time and time again that they don't care about that. They're like I feel like they're like Pat Riley of the boxing game, where they don't care about none of that because they hold all the tools and the weapons, and they're just like, you know what, you go wherever you want to do. We're gonna tell you what to do, and if you don't want to do it, you go somewhere else. And I think Shakur Stevenson deserves a little more better treatment. I know that fight last night was not ideal for anybody witnessing it, watching highlights. If you weren't able to catch it on the live, it wasn't ideal for anybody. But we've seen Shakur Stevenson's talent. We've seen what he's capable of doing in that ring. Last night was not it, but that's not something I foresee him doing the next couple fights over. Like I don't see him doing that, but I think Top Rank should let him go off and see where else he could get top dollar from if he believes he can do it. Because I know he's been being held back from major fights so far in his young career. Even though I know he's really young and they want to kind of slow build him, he wants that fight now, and I think he has to pull a move that someone his idol did, which is Floyd Mayweather, and bank on himself, go and fight a bevy of guys on his own promotion, opposed to waiting for his Top Rank promoter to put him against those top tier fights.
The thing is, I'm not sure if there's anything they can really do at this point in time. Shakur Stevenson, let's call face value here. He has a boring style, and boring styles don't sell. And when you get a fighter of his magnitude and skill sets, you want him to be able to put butts in seats. It's going to be harder for to negotiate for this guy. Like, people are going to side with Shakur Stevenson. I get it. We like his talent. We know he's skillful. We know he's really the boogeyman. We're not going to take that away from him. Mm-hmm. He's the boogeyman of his division, right? As soon as he came, Devin Haney, I'm out. I get it. Okay, I'm moving to 140. But we also got to call a spade here, because it's going to be harder for to negotiate for this guy. Like, for example, when you had the Crawford, situation and how Crawford went on his own, guys was ducking Crawford. And it made the Spence fight happen. It was easier to make with him being a free agent because of all the B side or you on this side and sides of the street. They didn't have to worry about that. So that was easier to make. But in this situation with Shakur Stevenson, it's not like he could venture off and do the Mayweather thing because he's not popular, bro. Okay, Mayweather could do his own thing because he's popular, and he could do his own thing. He could market himself. But when you look at this fight, bro, De La Santos landed only 40 punches in this fight. Not because he didn't throw, because Shakur Stevenson literally, with his pullback game, was running around the whole ring. He didn't want to get in the trenches and fight. And that's not going to, like I said, it's not going to put butts in seats, bro. So I understand, the real boxing fans, we're going to respect, the sweet signs. And even guys that do respect the sweet signs, we like to see you take a little bit more risk than what you took last night. Mm-hmm. And I think when you talk about this fight being on Thursday, that was a smart move by whoever made that to be on a Thursday. Because if this was a Saturday when everybody was home trying to find something to watch and you wasting people's time on a daggone Saturday night, then there's a bigger problem. So I'm actually happy that I ain't had my Saturday night wasted and I had my Thursday night wasted. And that's the problem. When you have a guy like this fighting on Thursday, barely fans in the stands, fans are booing, and you're clamoring for more money against Haney, who had 3 of the belts. There needs to be an ego check. So this is the problem with Shakur Stevenson right now. This is the 2 problems. Number 1, he's a born fighter. And number 2, he has a big ego. Those 2 things is not going to set him up for success. So if you're Bob Arum, maybe you say, go. Because I don't have to worry about you blaming me for not securing you fights in the future and you tarnishing my image and my legacy and my company because of your inability to put butts in seats. And that's my take.
I appreciate you for going for my take to not resign him. I appreciate that because he should. Bob Arum should do that. But I also believe, like I said, Shakur Stevenson needs a taste of what's out there in terms of promoters. Like what is out there for him that he believes is not gonna get from Top Rank. Like I don't know if it was a snuff job. I don't know if it was he purposely put on a terrible showing just so he could get out of Top Rank, or just so he doesn't get re-signed, or Top Rank can have second thoughts or whatever. Because it looked like he didn't want to be in that ring. He was running around. He's putting a
He felt the
defensive
power,
masterclass for
man. I
sure.
think once he
It looked
got hit,
crazy.
with that body shot, there was a body shot that De La Santos landed. I mean, we could literally, with the 40 punches landed, it's easy for
Mm-hmm.
us to know when he landed. Like
Correct.
sometimes when guys are going back and forth, you don't see everything. And
Correct.
sometimes you think you see something land that didn't land. I mean, everything was so really self-explanatory. And when he landed that body shot early, Shakur Stevenson, I guess, must have felt that. We know he's vulnerable there because he told you when he fought Oscar Valdez, even though we didn't see it as fans, he said that he got hurt, even though we didn't see it. We know he's a little bit vulnerable. So once he felt that power, it looked like he definitely was trying to bait. Like he wanted De La Santos to jump for the bait. And the problem that I have with De La Santos is, okay, are you expecting his power back? Because clearly you was reserved. You didn't want to take risks to go get it. When you're losing rounds, I get it. The first half, I thought it was a good game plan from De La Santos' team. Don't fall for the bait. He's going to try to bait you into making mistakes and being reckless. Don't fall for it. Okay, cool. First couple rounds, A for effort, even though you're not winning rounds because Shakur's utilizing his jab. Fine. But after round 6 and 7, you have to realize that you're not landing. You can't win if you're not landing. You're not going to get points for not landing. You're going to have to go caution in the win and take a punch to get a punch. And I didn't think he took enough risks in the back end. I'm not saying take those risks in the beginning. You
Mm-hmm.
played it well in the beginning, but in the back end, that's when the game plan got to go out the window. You can't lose the same way for all 12 rounds, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have to realize that a change needs to be done. And if that calls for you going Hail Mary mode, then you got to go Hail Mary mode. You can't lose the same way for all 12 rounds. Okay? And Shakur Stevenson was like, all right, fine. I'll fight this way for all 12 rounds. Fine. He doesn't care about looking good. He doesn't care about what the fans think. And the fans are the one that's going to make him a rich man. That's the problem. A lot of people shun the consumer. Yeah, we impact boxing. Okay? Whether it's us talking on the show, whether it's watching and ordering pay-per-views, we impact boxing. There's no product without a consumer. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The consumer makes the product go. So when this guy get into the negotiating table and his ego saying, I want more money against Haney, who has 3 belts, okay, that he frees so he can come back to 135, then you have no leverage because Haney, although we can say he's ducking, because I think he is ducking. I don't think he want no smoke with Shakur. But he has leeway. He has excuses now. He can say, listen, I got 3 belts. Take that 25%. Okay? And guess what? He said 10% now, even though obviously 10%, ain't nobody taking 10%. But he better ask if that 25% is still on the table. There's no reason why we had to watch this fight on Thursday. Okay? On a Thursday, when he could have been gearing up with these press tours for Undisputed against Haney. There's no reason why. So, like I said, in closing, ego and his born style is why this guy, Shakur Stevenson, is probably not going to have a major fight until his late 30s. And it's unfortunate. He's going to blame Top Rank for not securing Loma, okay? But really, he needs to look in the mirror. He got the win. The win is important. But I think long term, there's other important things that got to get mapped out. And
Well,
one more point. Oh,
okay,
go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I
I'll
was
say
just
my
gonna
last
say
point.
real quick. I was just gonna say like my last lap was mainly that boxers need to worry about more about their performance opposed to the win-loss record. And I hope boxing officials start to recognize that as well. It's not always about the win-loss record. It has to be about what's happening in that ring performance-wise. If you're not putting on a good fight, a good showing, it doesn't matter what your record says. We're not gonna put you on those bigger cards, these bigger names against bigger fighters. So I think boxing should incentivize the boxers who are putting on a show opposed to the boxers who are just out there trying to increase their record.
One more point. Yeah, I mean, if Top Rank doesn't resign him, like I think it's very ironic how this fight is on Thursday, how Bob Arum is sitting front row with all the booze. Like, let's try to get into the mind of Bob Arum right now, what he's thinking, right? Like, clearly, Shakur, through the media, is giving me an ultimatum: secure me Loma or I'm out. Then you get to this fight. It's on Thursday. it's booze going on. Shakur has a golden opportunity against a known boxer in the boxing community, may not be known to the fans, but in the boxing community for having power. It's your opportunity to make a statement, and you don't. Like, you don't even try to make a statement. Like, literally, it's a bad
statement.
look.
It was a clear statement. I'm out of here. I'm ducking.
Yeah, I'm out. And it's funny because it's nothing wrong with his skill set. He's one of the, nobody controls the distance better in the sport of boxing than Shakur Stevenson. Nobody. Okay. And like I said, he's the best hit and not get hit boxer, arguably, in boxing. We know his styles. We know he can, be destructive with the counterpunch. It's funny because he barely used that left hand last night. He did not use that left hand at all. Okay. He might have a Joe Burrow's injury, bro, with all due respect, with the left wrist or something, because he didn't use it. So my point being, the reason why I said, yeah, they should, sign him. Yeah, because he's still a talented guy with room to grow, and maybe he morphs into a more exciting fighter who takes a little bit more risk along with his fundamentals. So yeah, I don't think you say no to Shakur if he wants to come back, but you don't got to go chase him. Mm-hmm. And if he's giving you ultimatums that is unreasonable, then maybe it's best he go. And that's my take.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.